Getting up and wanting to actually move is part of a spiritual awakening. That's a good thing, okay? Either move and change your life now or you stay stuck. I just woke up from a nap like 5 minutes ago. So my makeup looks messed up because I do be sleeping in it. I have it on my eyes, but it's all messed up. I fell asleep and I just don't care about my physical appearance. I just wanted to come on here and talk about the fact that moving away and putting yourself in a new environment is a very positive change that I think everybody should experience at least one time in their life for multiple different reasons. So I'm gonna get into why I moved away from my hometown and what it did for me, because there's a lot of people out here who hate where they live and they don't do anything about it, and they just continue to hate on the place that they live instead of moving away. First thing I'm gonna cover is just something that most people think about the most, and that is going to be expenses. So moving is not an expense as itself, it's more so the place that you're deciding to move to. So if you want to move to New York, or you want to move to LA or some big popular city, there's gonna be quite a bit of saving you need to do. I would say have at least $10,000 saved up in order to make sure you're good for rent and transportation and food and stuff like that. If you're looking to move to a city that is less populated, that's kind of lower on the radar, you don't need that much money to move. So for example, last year when I moved out here, I didn't have any money to my name. I had $2,000. $1,700 of that I spent on rent and a security deposit for the apartment that I used to live in Arizona. So I was living in Wisconsin. I had to get out. I'll get into my situation later on in the video. $1,700 on rent, and then that leaves me with a couple hundred left. So my flight was a one-way ticket. It was only $50. Flight was stupid cheap, and then I had money for groceries set aside, which was like $50 to $70, just for once I got there. I was able to fill my fridge, and then I also put aside money for a checked bag, which was $30. And then if you need transportation from the airport to your apartment, count in another $10 to $40 for Uber for that. Luckily I had a ride picked me up from the airport, so it was all good. Once I moved and got everything situated, there was really no more extra expenses. It kind of went back to being the normal of, if I want to buy something, I'm gonna have to pay for it. Now the cost of living in Arizona is similar to, so fucked up cost of living, like why is it so expensive to exist? But the cost of living is much cheaper out here than it is most places on the West Coast. Cali, for example, when I take trips out to LA, going to Walgreens and buying even anything is a jacked up price rather than it being out here. So take that into consideration. Maybe even call some of the grocery stores and just compare prices, so you know when you're going grocery shopping if you're gonna have to be spending more money or less money. You are able to move to a place that is cheaper overall too, so you could be spending more money. Also account for the minimum wage. I never planned on having a job working for somebody else, so that's not anything I ever looked into, but look into the minimum wage, because I know in Wisconsin minimum wage is like $8. And out here in Arizona, I think it's closer to 12 or 13 maybe, but I know it's a very significant difference, yet the cost of everything else is pretty similar, so it would be easier to work the same amount of hours and just make more money. That is something that is an excuse for a lot of people as to why they don't want to move. Another thing is just the fact that you're able to recreate you as a person. So getting up and wanting to actually move is part of a spiritual awakening. If you're on your journey right now, or you don't even know that you're in the process of waking up, but you have a certain urge to get out and move somewhere and change your environment, that's a good thing, okay? Don't feel bad about it. Don't feel like you're leaving people or whatever, because whoever needs to stay in contact with you will still stay stay in contact with you, no matter their physical presence from you, because you'll learn that that doesn't matter. If they really care about you, they're still going to talk to you no matter what the circumstances. And then if you go back to visit your hometown or whatever, then they're going to be there for you. And if they're not, then they were never there in the first place. Redoing your surroundings. So now once you're in your new environment, you're able to very much limit the people who have access to you. So now you can go out and create a new personality for yourself if that's what you want to do. You can go out and connect with better people. You can really narrow down who you're letting into your life, because all your physical friends or people who you used to be familiar with, they're not there anymore. If you want to hang out with people, you're gonna have to go find new people, so I really recommend using networking on Instagram or Facebook, or anything like that, even dating apps maybe, just to kind of find some people who have similar interests to you. Go hang out with them. If you like them, you like them. If you don't, it's no big deal. There's people everywhere, but I don't want you thinking that everything, the type of people are gonna change. The same people are everywhere. There's fake people everywhere, there's liars everywhere, there's manipulative people everywhere, and there's people on the opposite side of the spectrum. So there's people who will love you, there's people who will contribute to your mental state, there's people who are very much a blessing, and those people are everywhere. It's just a matter of attracting them. So whatever energy you are putting out is what you're going to get back. So me personally, why I decided to pick up my life and move is for a couple different reasons. One, I had nowhere to go. I was living in a terrible place right after I was homeless, and I had nowhere to go. I couldn't go to my mom's house. I didn't want to sign a lease, because if I was to do that, I would have to be stuck in the same city for a long time. I did not want to do that, and I wanted to move anyway. So I saw that as a perfect opportunity, like it was being forced in my face. Like, you either move and change your life now, or you stay stuck. Number two was because I wanted to grow as a person, and I feel like I was being held back in the city that I was living in. I was stuck there. It was trash city, just overall bad vibes. The people I was hanging out with was not it. I was hanging out with scammers, stealers, liars, people shooting at people not caring about anybody except themselves, and that's unhealthy behavior. Drug addicts, I didn't want that, okay? And it's hard to get away from it when those are your friends and those are the people that you resort to. So in order to stop hanging out with them, I had to literally remove myself out of the situation. And so I understood that I had a new life I could create for myself by just going somewhere where nobody knows who I am. Nobody had any connotations of me. Nobody had any past beef with me. Nobody had any problems with me. I'm not a problematic person, but I used to be. When I was in high school, I was very mean. I was very closed off, closed-minded. That is when I was very egotistical. There are a couple different sides to everybody. There's your higher self, which is the God in you, which is where you should aspire to be. There's your true self, which is basically you as a child, and it's the self that you take on as you are spiritually awakening. You should always be forming into your true self, and then your higher self, and then there's your ego. And that is the part where people don't fuck with you, because no one likes egotistical people. So that was where I was at, and when I was in high school. So I was always just not a good person. People did not like me. Everybody is always connected everywhere, and you have to understand that too. So that can work to your advantage, or that could work to your disadvantage. If everybody is connected and they're all talking about this and that, and it spreads around or whatever, people are gonna not fuck with you because they hear something, not even because they know you as a person. That's why I wanted to get out of that too, because I just did not like the fact that I knew so many people and they just were irrelevant in my life. So it's like, why don't I just move somewhere where I don't know anybody at all and they have no idea who I am? And so when I moved out here, I was doing everything by myself. Only me. I still do that. It's only me. I go out to eat by myself. I go to the grocery store by myself. I do errands by myself. I clean my house by myself. Pay my rent by myself. I live alone. So I'm very grateful to be able to love myself enough to enjoy my own company. And that's something that I wanted for myself, is because I was so weird and like closed off back then that I felt like I needed to do something with somebody all the time, or like I would beg people to hang out with me just because I wanted to go get my nails done, but I didn't want to go alone. Like, that's weird. Moving away taught me a lot, and it really built up my personal growth. I just feel like everybody needs to experience it. Like I said, it's part of a spiritual awakening. Back to what I was saying about everybody being connected, you will see that everywhere, no matter how big the city is, people know like, it's crazy. I've lived in Arizona for a year now, and it's like I'll meet somebody completely random, and then they're following the people on Instagram that I know, or they bring up somebody, they're like, oh, my friend is this, and I'm like, oh, who is it? And it's somebody that I know. So that has been used to my advantage recently, but it used to be to my disadvantage, because it would be people that I don't like messing with people that I don't like. But since I changed the people that I attract into my life, it's like everybody that I talk to, anybody that I fuck with, whatever, they're cool. Like, shout out to them, because I don't pick bad people, and it's because I opened up my options like so much bigger. And nobody knows about my family here either, which I really appreciate. Nobody knows anything about my family, and that's all I have to say about that. Wait, do I want to say anything else? Oh yeah, just whatever God gives you, take it. That's really important, because I did not know where I wanted to move. It was just like, boom, Arizona, and I just rolled with it. And this has been a blessing. It's been nothing but a blessing. I can't stress that enough. Like, I don't think I'm gonna live here forever, obviously. I'll probably buy a property here and then dip. I am so grateful for where I am, and the stuff that it opened my mind to, because it also put me in a new hustle. It really made me want to go get something. Like, I went from broke to rich in a year, and I might not be rich to some people because the numbers mean everything to them, but it's more of a mindset, and it's more of the work that you put in. Like, since I moved out here, I started several businesses by myself. I really went and got everything by myself. I learned new opportunities. I got new connections. There's a lot of bigger people out here, so they have more of a high profile, I guess. And not that that necessarily matters, but it does matter if you're in the field of content creation or any sort of that. I've just met a really cool network of people here. I feel like those are the main points I want to touch on. I don't want to talk for too long, but if you need a sign to move, this is it. Feel free to ask me about anything that I don't know what you would ask me about, but if you want to talk to me, feel free to talk to me. Thank you for watching this video. Sorry if I was yelling and I sound aggressive. I just get passionate about things that I speak about. So yeah, I look kind of crazy, but it's fine. Happy Valentine's Day. Thanks again for watching this, and I hope that it gave you some positive insight, and have a good day. This is a reflection of a water bottle. Stay hydrated.